Welcome, my beautiful souls. Today we are really doing a reading for all signs. It's interesting because before I do a reading, because I do connect with my guides when I do a reading, um, I usually will start by saying, what reading should I do today? And what I heard was just read, just read. So, what was on my mind was love for February, really for all signs. But what I hear is just read. So I'm just going to let this reading be whatever it wants to be. I feel like it already wants to be something. I feel like our spirit guides already have something in mind. So, like when I do a personal reading, the first spread, I leave it completely open to our spirit guides. And many times questions are answered, within the first spread, but I usually go back and do a second spread. That's why personal readings are like 2 to 3 hours long. But anyway, so that's what I heard today. Just read. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use a few different decks. I have a feeling it's just going to tell us some stories, your stories, and probably answer some of your questions. I feel like that's the type of reading this is going to be. So, again, I'm leaving it open. Um, I feel like by the time we're done with this reading, we'll know exactly why I was meant to leave it open. But let's go ahead and begin. So, this is going to be for all signs. I'm saying February. I am thinking love. And I know not everyone is interested in love. I don't know that this is just going to be about love. We'll see. But again, this is a type of reading, just like I'm doing. Trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. Let go of control. Like don't try to control anything as I'm being told. Don't try to control it, Sandy. So I'm not. Okay. So I'm going to use a few different decks. I am going to bring out the romance angels if called for. So that would mean love would be in the picture. I also brought out the clarifying love situations, which I've been using more and more. Um, and I really do like them. So whichever way, like if this card, I feel like there's no right or wrong, like, upright or reverse. Either way, it has a message. Dance of souls, be vulnerable and let your two hearts, oh, interesting, intertwine. I swear I didn't look at this. And half these cards I haven't even seen yet. I like to explore a deck. We're gonna call them. They're probably the newest deck I have. But I like to explore them with you, and this is why your intuition is so important. So we'll see. But dance of souls, be vulnerable, and let your two hearts intertwine. Okay, put those over there. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify or go deeper. I'm going to use the major arcana. So I'm going to do is just like a regular reading. Again, I'm leaving it open and I'm just going to tell the story as it reveals itself. We will start with Mother Mary for her beautiful words of wisdom. And I was guided to use the Universal Tarot. So let's put these aside for a second. I'm going to bring the lid down, not too much. All right, let's officially open this reading. So I have a feeling that some people, I don't know why I'm feeling this already. Some people um, would rather me do sign by sign. And it is something I was thinking of doing, but then again, I feel like my guides, well, I don't feel like, I know that they're just telling me, just read. Don't put a title on it yet. So, no title until we figure out what our guides want us to know. So, Mother Mary, your beautiful words of wisdom for all those who are tuning in and will be tuning in. This is the type of reading. Look at that, God. This is the type of reading where I definitely feel you'll be intuitively guided to it. Um, you may skip over it. It may be a long reading. I don't know. Um, but then something will make you come back to it. There'll be something that will make you click on it. Um, and I feel it's your guides. So we start with God. God. I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. Step out of the way and let God be in control. For certain situations, I feel like. And then we have boundaries. Boundaries. I am clear and honest with others about my expectations. It's interesting because I feel like that's just how I feel. Like I have boundaries and you cannot cross them. Now, I don't mean you. When I do a reading, I am you. That's why I say I or me. I read it as I am you. So, boundaries. It kind of feels like, well, first of all, God's asking you to step out of the way, but we'll see why. And then I do feel like it is setting boundaries, but I feel like there's a few people out there who already have these boundaries set and it's like, don't even try to cross my boundaries. Is that a good thing? Maybe. I do think we have to set boundaries, but for some reason I'm getting this feeling of, have I set these boundaries or like my expectations so high that it almost feels impossible? Now, I won't say it can be possible, but what I want you to keep in mind is, let's say there's something that you would like to manifest in your life. What you want to remember is that you also want to be in that energy. That is the law of attraction. You know what I mean? So, like, if I want great love, a love who will love me for a lifetime, then I also got to be willing, right? Maybe that's why I'm feeling some of these boundaries may be impossible, or even scare people off. But for certain people, maybe that's a good thing. We'll see. We'll see. So God and boundaries, we'll put that right over there. By the way, I brought out the Molodite. And it's interesting. I don't know if I'm not going to give a name, but this was gifted to me from Stu from the UK. And it was very interesting because I got a comment. This is how small the world is, where a lady, one of our subscribers, um, actually dated this guy. And I don't think it turned out very well. But I thought, holy cow, what a small world. But anyway, so this is really meant to open up your intuition. I know a lot of people are saying be careful with it, but I have to tell you, I've been testing it. I've been using it in every reading. Um, and although my intuition is wide open, I feel like it is taking me even a level deeper. So, you know, maybe it's mind over matter. I don't know. But I want you to know that I have it out. It was part of the shuffling that I do before. Like I begin with this, just put it right in the middle, and then I do my shuffling before you even come. And then I like to shuffle once you're here also. All right. That card looks like it wants to come out. So does that card. So we're going to take them, see what they are. Well, hello, lovers. Hello, lovers. This is a card of Gemini. Though I don't really read the major arcanas as signs, I think more about the energy. The meaning of this card's a head over heart decision. Could possibly be the case. What I love about this image, though, is you can see the angel's influence over these lovers. And I don't know, it feels like they just met. It's like they want to hold hands. Like I feel this, what's this energy I'm feeling? Um, pitter patter, like pitter patter of my heart. It's like I barely touch them, and it's like I get this energetic shock. Probably meant to. I have a feeling this is guiding some love together for you. It is ahead of her decision. So, I feel like that's a good thing because it does put the ball in your court. You can say yes, you can say no. And it makes me feel like this is something that's coming in towards you. And then we have the beautiful Hierophant, Taurus, number 5. When you see 5, think of change. So what is the Hierophant asking? It's asking you, well, for some of you, do you still believe in love? Do you still believe in love? Do you believe in love after love? I love this image because I feel like the Hierophant is casting a blessing. And especially with God out here, right? The highest. It feels like this is a blessing. The Hierophant is meant to be light energy. But it is also, you know, keeping your faith alive, hope alive, questioning, am I living life according to my morals? That type of thing. It's of the light. So it's either bringing light or asking you to shine your light. Take a few more. So it's kind of funny how I was like thinking love, and my guides are like, just start reading. And then the first card is the lovers. We have the high priestess, your intuition, your higher self. I feel like the high priestess is saying, whatever you're going through, you've been through it before, probably in a previous lifetime, maybe even in this lifetime. And I feel like, where I felt those boundaries might be somewhat impossible. Of course, totally up to you. Um, this is about trusting your intuition. This is about, especially with the Hierophant, like blessing this energy. It means this blessing is directly for you. But I do feel that energy of like, there's nothing that we're going through that we haven't already been through. You know, something is only impossible until it becomes possible. Something may feel impossible, but then I feel like it's becoming possible. She's got this beautiful fairy dust around her. Saying fairy dust is like, feels good. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out. So, where the lovers ask or tells you this is a head over heart decision, the high priestess, your intuition, certainly can guide you. I also feel like For some of you, I feel like you've been evolving on a spiritual level. And by the way, that's exactly what's meant to happen this year. You're probably tired of me saying this, but I do feel like there's going to be a lot of spiritual awakenings this year. Some won't even put a title to it. Some may feel a little discomfort in that. But those who, you know, are understanding how energy works and that I don't feel it's uncomfortable. I feel like it's a true blessing, but also it must mean that you yourself are, doing, I want to say the work, maybe shadow work, dealing with the past, closing doors. Remember, we're in a universal year 9. This is the final push. So, really, you're meant to really look at your life and make some true decisions of who do you want to bring along for the ride in your next chapter and who have you just outgrown. Interesting. I feel some of you have just outgrown like certain energy around you. Could be someone you're connected to romantically, but I feel like even friends, some of you could have like friendships that start to fade away. But again, that's because your vibration and their vibration are now different. So sometimes we have to, well, again, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I feel like when we feel that energy and we feel it kind of like fading away, the human part of us tries to pull it back. Not always, but a lot of times, especially in love. Um, but again, this is about letting go of what in a way may be holding you back. Again, it just feels like different vibrations. Hello, Temperance, divine timing, who is mixing the loving waters of soulmates. Her first message is patience. Patience, my child. Let me do my work. You do your work. And I feel like your work is just evolving. I feel the days of like fear are going to be behind you. And I feel like what you're doing now is you're trusting more, well, in God, universal energy. But this asks you to trust in divine timing. It means something happens in the right time. So, patience until then. It may be, again, why God asks us to sometimes step out of the way. Because that this means divine is at work in your life. I was going to say your love life, but in your whole life. But love is part of that. Slide these over just a little. And let's go ahead and bring in the Universal Tarot. By the way, certainly feel free to ask your guides. If you have a hard time like really trusting in your intuition, like as it relates to like watching a reading, ask your guides to send you signs. Ask your guides to let you feel it. This should be an energy exchange. Like you should feel it. I'm not looking at lower vibrational energy. I'm looking at a higher vibrational energy. I can see it. So again, you should feel it. Divine timing is mirroring the lovers. And I feel, as it relates to the lovers, that because the Hierophant is here. And I do feel like he's casting a blessing, especially with God out. It almost feels like healing for these lovers, probably on an individual level, and then they may come together. I feel the chemistry. Like, I feel like we barely touch hands, and like this electric shock goes through me. Okay. Divine timing is at work in your life, but it also feels like it's at work in your love life. We have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords can certainly mean communications coming in. It's interesting that he is looking back. So this could be someone of the past. And then we have the Five of Cups. It's interesting. It's like I talk and then I see the next card. I'm like, okay, well, that was everything I just talked about. What I want you to recognize within this energy is it's also a five. And in the Five of Cups, what you're focusing on is, or maybe what you were focusing on, is what I have lost. That feeling of loss, emotional loss. I do feel like it's relating more to love than anything. I have a feeling this is going to be a love reading, but probably more than that. So when this person makes this change, interesting because here's Temperance with these two cups, making sure that the loving energy is equally filled between both. And then when this person, who does look like they have the cloak of the Hermit on, and we're in the year of the Hermit, there's two cups that they really don't even notice because their focus is here on these cups that have not been knocked over. But there's a soulmate out there. To me, that's what it represents. Interesting. I just realized that the person in the Five of Cups is also looking back. Well, that would make sense. But that puts the two cups in front of you. So two fives. One wants you just to question, you live in life according to your morals, to your beliefs. Um, and in the Five of Cups, the danger with the Five of Cups, if I stay in that energy too long, I can really start to feel sorry for myself. And I'm not saying you don't have every right to, but the truth is, time keeps on ticking, right? Time keeps on moving forward. And if I spend a ton of energy just, focusing on what I've lost, well, then will I find what is yet to be gained? We shall see. Will I find this soulmate? For some of you, it's interesting because I thought about doing a twin flame reading, and it is going to be my next reading. But I'm just looking at the six and the five, and I don't know why, but 11 often reminds me of twin flames. Now, I don't want you to think this is just a twin. This is not a twin flame reading. But for some of you, it may talk about a twin flame. So interesting, because I am going to do twin flame after this. Okay. It's like, stop talking, Sandy. Three of Wands. Completely different change of energy. So, whereas focusing on what I've lost, this is now optimistic energy. This is someone who is living in the current moment. This is someone who does trust in divine timing, because what they're saying is that I trust that my ships will come in, my blessings will reach me, what's meant to find me will find me. But coming from optimism, now that's a way to manifest. In this energy, I expect good things to happen, and they do. I feel like you're being called to the present moment. I also feel like you're being asked just to do an energy check. 5 and a 3 is an 8, so it could certainly signify a new beginning. Excuse me. We have the King of Pentacles. Can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We have Taurus right here. This King of Pentacles is also looking back, but he's looking back at the Three of Wands. Optimism. It's almost like this king feels like maybe you'll give him a chance, for her. I say him or her because I know I have male and female um I don't know the word to use, watchers. This king is also coming under the high priestess, but also connected to temperance, which is again about divine timing. So let's see what comes on the other side. It's almost like someone is recognizing that your energy has changed, and therefore they may be coming in. Now, let me tell you what I think about the King of Pentacles in the upright. This is what I feel: loyalty, stability, someone who probably throughout their life has been concerned about, building abundance. And I don't mean someone who is all about money, but understands that, you have to have money. It's interesting how the 4 cards, 3 of them are looking back. But the 3 of Wands, well, it would make sense, is the one who um, is in current energy. That would make sense because that is about being in the present moment, letting go of control, trusting in divine, knowing, and even saying, like, divine, I know that you'll bring in my blessings. And in the meantime, I'm going to do my part. That's the one thing divine asks of us, like, I'll do my part, you do your part. And that can mean like taking action, following guidance. Sometimes we can overthink it, especially with the King of Pentacles. That can be a trait of overthinking instead of letting something just flow. Your high priestess or the high priestess really is form of protection for you. So when I see the 3 of Wands, I definitely feel like this is someone who is in tuned with their intuition. They know that this is what I want to follow. That may be why I felt like somewhere, for some, the boundaries may feel simply impossible to cross. And again, I'm not telling you don't set boundaries, but if, in the 3 of Wands, it really is like just going with the flow. And I feel like you'll be very surprised at what comes back to you. And I don't feel just love. I feel happiness. I feel joy. I feel reasons to get up in the morning where before I just wanted to stay in bed. I feel creative. I feel like me. Eight of Swords, mirroring the Knight of Swords. Okay, well, this might be, you know, boundaries. Yes, this is a self-created prison. This is why I'm feeling for some boundaries. Some people, the boundaries feel impossible because this is literally, again, a self-created prison. This is where I'm not trusting my intuition because you wouldn't need these walls around you if you trusted your intuition. Your intuition is your GPS. It's a gift. It's a gift that God gave you when you came into this lifetime. And your high priestess, your higher self would say, trust me, I am your GPS in this lifetime. And then if you're able to put down these walls, well, I'm telling you, it's freedom. It's just freedom. It's freedom to be. So I have a feeling this is related to like past pain. Like, of course, I don't want my heart broken. You know, I don't want anything that's not meant for me. But in a way, am I not blocking what is meant for me? I feel like this is what Temperance is saying to you. Like, it's going to be hard for me to bring together what's meant to happen in this divine timing with this energy because it's self created, so free will. The only person who can uncreate it is the one who's created it. And I already get it that some people are going to say, I have no interest in love. Then I want to say, have you ever planned on falling in love or did it just happen? Because that's normally what happens in love. It's unexpected. Yes, sometimes we fall in love with the wrong people, or maybe they were there to teach us. Sometimes I feel like love relationships that hadn't gone well, they could simply be because everything is meant to be. So it could simply just be like now you're very clear on what it is you do not want. But the energy that's showing with temperance, um, talking about divine timing and mirroring the lovers, I don't feel there's any need for fear. I feel optimism is the answer here. Like, and allowing yourself to live in the current moment. Like, don't try to live in the past. It doesn't mean that someone from the past may not be coming back. That is definitely a potential. 5 and 3, 8, and another 8, allowing oneself a new beginning. And only you can do that. I feel like for a few of you, someone of the past, and you may be going through it right now, could have cut off communication. You know what I mean? Like just ghosted you. And I hate that energy. And I don't say hate very often because there's not much I hate, like, but I do hate that. But if that's the case, then understand that their energy is not really evolving. They wouldn't be what I would call true love because they can't see a true love hurting you in this way. I can want it, wish for it, and all that. And that's kind of what in the Five of Cups I'm doing. Will I not just end up in the same place again? All right, let's keep going. We have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is about your individuality. It can speak about what you do in the world. This is the energy of other people admiring you for who you are. You know, it is mirroring the lovers right now. And because we have the Five of Cups and this person literally is focusing, I feel like this person is trying to seek understanding. That's why they're wearing the cloak of the hermit. But this, again, may be that year where, let's just put it this way, for people who've been disrespecting you, who have been coming between you and divine, and you're part of that, not everyone, but that Eight of Swords is a block. I feel like this is also saying, believe in yourself. It's like God made you exactly the way you were meant to be. So, this feeling of being proud. But I feel like this is also talking about, because it's mirroring the lovers, both people being able to recognize each other on a soul's level, on a soul level. Certainly, someone could be admiring you from, I want to say afar, but it doesn't have to mean like they don't live like in the same town. Could be like social media. You know, sometimes people share a lot on their social media platforms. And I get this a lot where I see status changes, like, going from like complicated relationship, because that's what I feel like this was, to single. And maybe this king is like, oh, they're single. He looks very patient, and that's what Temperance is asking. Interesting. We have the Queen of Pentacles now. So we have the King and the Queen. And even though they are of the same suit, they are different. There's a lot of similarities, but they're different in the way that they really look at life. King of Pentacles looks at the big picture. The Queen of Pentacles, her specialty is like those seeing those details, feeling those details that other people may miss. Could even be something that someone does for a living. Like I often feel like contracts. Like if I had a contract, she's the queen I'd give it to, because she would find those hidden clauses. But I feel like there's also something about your creativity, like what it is you do. And it does feel like then being admired for that. Some of you could certainly have spiritual, like some type of spiritual base business. I could see some saying, well, that's where I've kept my focus. I've kept my focus on creating my abundance, my business, what it is I want to do in the world. So I kind of put a block around my heart as I was focusing on my money, so to speak. But again, it's very creative energy. It's also individuality. So it makes me feel like whatever you're doing here, it just feels like it's right, like it was meant to be. Interesting though, because she's looking forward, he's looking back. So let's see what connects them. And yes, they are Pentacles or Earth, but then I kind of want you to forget that because I'm not reading this as it has to be like Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Hmm. Another night. Now we have the Knight of Wands. Now we're in movement. You just might get swept off your feet. But I love that it's coming over the Three of Wands or under the Three of Wands. Because if you are getting swept off your feet, I feel like you're going to enjoy it. I don't feel like you would be saying no. You know, this talks about passion that's coming into your life. And it's coming again in optimistic energy. It almost feels like the Hierophant is blessing this couple and the lovers, and then the Queen and the King. Huh. Seven of Pentacles. So first, this is talks about patience, just like temperance. But this is like, I relate it to like an apple tree. This is really your tree of life. These are your seeds on this tree. But not all seeds are meant to come to fruition at the same time. That could be a little overwhelming. But I definitely feel, especially coming over this King of Pentacles who's holding this big pentacle in his hand, that it feels like he's coming in. But I feel like, when the Seven of Pentacles shows up, this energy was meant to be. So it could certainly talk about seeds that were planted before you came into this lifetime, predestined. Again, you can say no. That's what the person in the Eight of Swords is going to say. No, thank you. But if I feel like the reason the Eight of Swords is here because it's the Five of Cups. So if I change my focus, which is exactly what's happening here from what I have lost, the sadness of that, to, okay, you know what? It is what it is. So I'm no longer going to focus on that. Especially if someone was ghosting you. That is your answer. Do I wait? Do I continue to try? It's certainly your choice. But I feel like that is coming from lower vibrational energy. And I know many of you here definitely are evolving on a daily basis. Like, I feel super proud of you. But I do feel like whatever happens in the Seven of Pentacles, again, predestined. One, two, three Pentacles on the bottom line with the Knight of Wands in between. We have the Death card. Coming out or under the Eight of Swords, which is mirrored by Temperance. Do you think Temperance is saying, I gotta look at that Eight of Swords? I gotta trust in divine? That's exactly what Temperance is asking you to do. Trust in divine timing. Just trust in divine, period. She is busy up there mixing the love and waters of the soulmates. We know there's soulmates behind this person. We know with the lovers, that it's also part of your divine timing. And I totally feel that this Death card, which is a card of Scorpio, by the way, it is about transformation. It is about closing doors. But it's a promise of a new door opening. The Death card is rebirth. And allowing oneself to have rebirth. Really trusting within yourself, your intuition. And by the way, let's say you do have some fear. Take it slow. If you're interested. All right. Well, hello, Judgment, your spiritual team. And they're calling you to the present moment. Well, that's what the Three of Wands is, the present moment. Why? Because we're going to send you some signs. And we need you in the present moment so you can receive these signs if you so choose. But it means you're going to be guided. Like action steps to take. There's a lot of energy where I feel like it really is like how God said in the beginning about letting go of control and maybe just allowing it to, like, whatever's going to happen here to happen naturally. I feel like the main thing is I have to look at my energy. If this is something I'm interested in. This person in Seven Pentacles is looking right back at the Death card. Almost like he looks like he is not going to allow a pentacle to come to fruition until a certain door has been closed. A certain energy is no more. I feel like really there's nothing to fear with the beautiful energy and the support that you're receiving. It feels like everything is coming of the light. So, another way of saying that is if you yourself have evolved, then this feels like energy that has also evolved. Like it feels like equal vibrational energy, except for that Eight of Swords. Judgment even feels like if there's communication is coming in, it's also under Divine's energy, your spiritual team. They would never lead you astray. We have the beautiful Empress. Wow. Goodbye, Five of Cups. Goodbye, Eight of Swords. Because neither one of those energies would exist once the Empress shows. Because the Empress, to me, has learned the wisdom of all the Queen's experiences. This is someone who she doesn't block her heart. She's loving. She is nurturing. But she's very powerful. She's very intuitive. She's very creative. I love that with the Three of Pentacles. This is also the mother figure. Some of you could certainly be single, like a single mother, single father, but it may not be for long. Again, I'm going to leave that up to you. But because the Empress is shown, then I feel like, okay, I'm no longer focusing on what I've lost. I'm no longer putting these barriers in front of me. Because the Empress has a beautiful energetic field. And it really is her protection. If anything of a lower vibration tries to get through her energetic field, all the alarms will go off. That you just can't get through them. She's too wise. Not too wise, but what I mean is like she's too wise for lower vibrational energy to even try. I love that coming next to Judgment also, who is saying present moment energy, who is saying there's about to be a rebirth, as so is the Death card. The closing of a door with the promise of a new door opening. We have the Seven of Wands. It's about standing your ground. But why? Well, that's why. Two of Swords. Okay, so the first thing I want you to recognize is we've gone from the Eight of Swords down to the Two of Swords. And I feel both of them are human emotions. The Two of Swords, just a little bit of a block. Just maybe something I'm fearful of facing. But it definitely serves me to face it. I feel like because she has a blindfold on, as long as she wears that blindfold, I feel like what she fears, that fear grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I take off that blindfold and it's like there was really nothing here to fear. I know this energy. It reminds me of like when Sam reached out. Um, you know, I mean, was I happy? Absolutely. Did I have butterflies? Absolutely. And sometimes that's what that means. Like, oh my gosh, this is exciting but scary at the same time. I feel like this King of Pentacles is paying attention to his intuition. It's almost like knowing when to move and when not to move towards you. Again, he's also connected to temperance, divine timing, which first message is patience. That's why I feel like he's like he feels very patient. Hello, Knight of Cups. Unexpected couple fulfillment, and it's mirroring judgment, your spiritual team. Coming under the death card. And I know the death card means one thing, and that is the Eight of Swords. It's freeing yourself. Sometimes this is thought based. A lot of times it's from our thoughts. It's our fears. And we do build these walls up thinking it's going to protect us. And maybe it does. But I don't know, guys. I mean, I do know. It means it's coming no matter what. It feels divine. It is about a couple fulfillment. We have these two cups that have yet to be found. The Empress would definitely be open to this energy, but again, she's nobody's fool. But because judgment is right here, I feel like there's not much to fear here. So this Two of Swords could be more like butterfly type energy. See, it's on the bottom of the deck. Hello, Ace of Pentacles. That means something that's coming into your physical world. That's what the Ace of Pentacles is. Like, I'm coming into your physical world. I often feel the Ace of Pentacles starts as a seed. This seed has roots, and I can nurture this seed and watch it blossom. Or I can ignore it and just let it dry up and die. Five of Swords under there. Okay. Toxicity. Yeah, I don't feel like that means toxicity is coming in because it's a five. I feel like that is why the Eight of Swords was created. He dealt with someone who just feels toxic. Now, toxic can mean many different things. But the first thing I felt was someone who communicated and then didn't communicate, and then communicated and didn't communicate. And if I could have any say so in your life, I would remove that person from your life. But coming from love, just no way to live. But sometimes my heart is set on what my heart is set on until I know better. I feel like this king is really paying attention. Hmm. I would not be surprised if, and this is just one of the ways, but I am feeling where, like someone's paying attention to your life, like through your social media. I feel like this king and queen, I do feel like they're meant to be. And I feel like judgment is coming out just to give you some comfort to say, I will guide you. I will help you. I will send you the signs. And this is one of them, the Knight of Cups. But maybe one situation does need to end to fully feel what wants to come in. He wants to come in. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. It also makes sense with 2025 again being the year of the Hermit, and that is deep reflection. It doesn't mean you have to spend the whole year in reflection. You know what I mean? Um, but it is the final push of what's got to go and what you want to bring along this next journey, because 2026 will be Universal Year One, the year of the Magician. So I feel like if I can do this reflection sooner versus later, then I can move into the energy of the Magician sooner versus 2026. I think when we get to a point, especially as we're starting to awaken spiritually, we understand that, first of all, again, if someone's been ghosting you, you start to understand that, I can't control what they're doing. I can't make them call me. And this is the way I look at it. If I got to make someone do something as it relates to love, well, is that even love? Or another way of saying that is it the type of love that you could see you spending the rest of your life in? I don't think so. And that means that that person really not interested in, probably doesn't even know or understand spirituality and how that we can evolve as souls. That is why we're here. So even looking at this is like, okay, I get it. I learn. I need my own self-respect, right? Boundaries, yes, but not against everyone. Just against those that you know. In a way, I feel like I want to say, they don't really deserve you anyway. They may not be your happily ever after. There's no way they could be your happily ever after. Now, I'm not going to say they can't evolve. They can. They have the same opportunities we have, but it just doesn't feel like it happens. All right. Bring in the Gilded Chirale. And we'll start at the beginning, but we'll read it as a whole. You know, you have a knight as the last card in this spread, a knight opening up the spread. One, communication. One, love. But because this knight is looking back and it's right next to the Five of Cups, that's why I feel like. And listen, some of you may have cut off communicate. Maybe you already did cut off communication. Maybe it's you who said no more. And if that's the case, that means that you are moving into the Three of Wands. You are moving into the Empress's energy. There's so much about the Empress. You know, she's so creative. Judgment, sending signs, knows that the Empress will pick up on them. Why? Because her energy is clear. Because again, she trusts in her intuition above all. She understands that some of these experiences that she's gone through really have taught her a lot. And sometimes it's self-respect. All right. Oh, sorry. With the Hangman first. Okay, that makes sense. And then we have the Emperor, card of Aries. Interesting with the Empress and the Emperor mirroring each other right now. And the Emperor is touching the lovers. It kind of makes me feel like the Emperor is not, the cups have been knocked over. The Emperor is part of these two cups. The Temperance is getting ready. This is my power couple. You know, much like I said with the King and Queen of Pentacles, they're different, but they have ultimately the same goal in mind. They just come about it in different ways. But there's a lot we can learn from each other. I feel the same thing with the Emperor and the Empress. The Empress is much more goes by the seat of her pants. Why? Because she trusts her intuition that much. The Emperor is someone who's more methodical, puts plans in place, but they both are leaders of people. Now that doesn't mean I lead the world. It could just be like I carry now this certain energy where I can then help. Often feel the Emperor is a business owner. The Emperor is meant to be someone that we can look up to. So I don't feel like this is, you know, for some of you, yes, it could be like an Aries that ghosted you. Or, you know what I'm saying, ghosted you. There's just no contact. It's here and there. It's mind-boggling. It's too much. Not what I deserve. Here I'm trying to move forward in my life. This energy keeps pulling me back. So what do I do about that? I've got to break those ties. If you so choose. I don't know why I keep saying that, but I'm saying it because you don't have to accept, you know, what's coming your way. But yet, look at the energy that's bringing it in. Number one, temperance, divine timing, the lovers, and judgment. I'm going to guide you. Just put yourself in the present moment. Try to have an optimistic view. And that does probably mean that you had to use again, the 9 universal year. Because what do I need to cut out of my life? This is the time. And why am I saying that? Well, because we're entering into a new 9 year cycle. And I don't think I would want to spend another 9 years dealing with that. We had the Knight of Swords flipped itself around the deck over the Three of Wands. Tower flipped itself around. I'll take it. Then we have the Devil, card of Capricorn. I feel like this King of Pentacles is saying, I mean you no harm. I bring stability. I have no interest in, I feel like this is someone who's looking for someone to truly settle down with. Definitely telling you that they're not going to cause a tower, that you can avoid this tower. Now, the Devil coming out over the Eight of Swords, the Devil talks about temptation. It's mirroring the Hangman, where I felt it's talking about, again, someone who, in a way, caused you to create that barrier around you. The Devil is very good at casting illusions. Like, this is my person. I know this is my person. But yet this person is disrespecting you constantly. Shouldn't have to work that hard at love. So the Eight of Swords you can certainly feel stuck. But with the Devil over it, that is telling you it's an illusion. This King is saying, I don't bring towers. I'm looking for my forever after. Kind of feels like this King is going to communicate. I feel like the King and the Emperor are the same. I feel like the Emperor is just representing the two cups. So the Emperor normally is, well, he's in the upright. So this is someone that we can definitely look up to. This is someone I feel like we can have long intellectual discussions with. Often feel this is someone who has like degrees. Um, but I also feel spirituality is one of those degrees. Kind of feels like night and day. Okay, keep going. We have the Four of Pentacles coming over the Three of Pentacles. I can certainly talk about your foundation. Some of you could be working from home, and maybe you do work on, like you work on a social network, like how I do YouTube. But I also share my videos like on my Facebook and Instagram. Three wands now right over the Queen. So this King is looking at the Three of Wands. To me, that means he is in, listen, maybe this tower that is in reverse. This could even talk about like this King is single. And I feel like Again, I bring you no trouble. I bring you no trouble. Queen's like, okay, all right. Look at that, 3 swords. Three swords. I know why it's here, because it's coming above the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is where one is, standing one's ground. Again, that kind of reminds me of boundaries. And I'm not telling you not to set them, but think about what it is you want in your life, you know, and how can you manifest it? Well, the more you can be optimistic, and that doesn't mean everything in my life is okay, everything's going perfect, but there are some things. So I feel like it's interesting because it makes me feel like this queen, of course, it could be the other way around, but it makes me feel like this queen is going to take a chance. But I feel like one of the things she's going to say is, I've had my heart broken, truly. And for someone, it could have been like a repeat pattern, like you may have given or tried 3 times with someone, but then it just keeps ending up in the same energy. So I simply feel like this is part of the conversation. Like, I truly have had my heart broken. And I feel like that's why the king is saying, I promise you, I'm not coming in to cause you problems, to cause you heartache. You know, truth be told, I was sent by divine. Now, will they usher those words, say those words? Maybe. I mean, when we have the emperor and the empress together, I feel like they both are spiritually evolved. Not perfect. They both definitely care about their fellow man and woman. That's that empathetic, compassionate energy, and sometimes we learn that from other people not being compassionate with us. And we know what that feels like. So I could definitely see like helping others to help them understand. But yet, I do feel like this queen's going to say that. We have the King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. He's very close to that Three of Swords, though. Look at this, another king. King of Cups coming over the Death card could signify um, Scorpio. All the kings are coming in the upright. Hello, Magician. Over judgment. Exactly what I was feeling earlier. Like, I don't have to stay in a state of reflection all year long. I simply got to know what I want to bring along for the next chapter and what I don't. The magician is a reminder also that you truly do have all the tools you need to be successful, and those are your experiences. That's why I feel like the emperor and the empress has really lived the lives of all the kings and the queens, and maybe will be why we're seeing all these kings also. But your spiritual team is like, do you want to manifest? I'm here to help you. And then look at this, the high priestess right over the empress. And I'm telling you, she will listen to her intuition. She still has the option of saying yes or no. but she's going to listen. She's going to feel it. She's going to trust it. She knows it's from her spiritual team. You know, your spiritual team is always sending you signs. But a lot of times we do ignore those signs. I feel like that's just the human part of us. You know, sometimes I want what I want, but it's not wanting me the way that I want it to want me. So what do I do about that? Well, I feel like I cannot control this other energy. But in a way, I don't feel like I want to anymore. Like, I'm already tired of them. I'm tired of talking about them because I just don't feel like they deserve to have a special place within your heart. Though they did at one time, but what did they do to it? The Empress knows that. The Emperor knows that. Queen of Wands again, or Queen of Pentacles. You know, the one thing I want to say with the Queen and the King of Pentacles is they can both have a tendency to overthink. Now, I don't feel like this king is overthinking. I feel like this king is ready to take action. I feel like it's this queen down here, even though I do feel, you know, with this Knight of Cups mirroring your spiritual team, it is definitely, it feels like it's being sent from the highest energy of all. But then again, your energy must meet it. Now, what I mean by that is, you know, the Knight of Cups will come in no matter what. It's just what will you do with it? The devil casting those illusions. But listen, God gave you power over the dark. But I definitely feel like this Queen of Pentacles is the one. It's interesting because she's coming over a little bit of aggressive energy. So I feel like this king may have his work cut out for him, or the emperor. We have the Five of Pentacles. So it definitely feels like something that happened outside of your control. And I often feel in the Five of Pentacles, I don't really have the luxury of just like staying in bed all day and crying. I have to keep on moving. But what I love about the Five of Pentacles, it is the promise of you moving towards soulmate energy, not just in love, but really in all areas of your life. You know, where you've been in energy where, let's just say, someone has been, mm, well, they think of themselves first. There's nothing wrong with thinking of yourself. But don't use someone else. Listen, this person is creating some bad karma for themselves because someone is going to do to them what they did to you. It's just the way it works, whether it be this lifetime or the next. I feel that, like someone is creating bad karma for themselves. They probably don't know that. And that is another reason why I feel like if you feel like you're evolving on a spiritual level, which means that you are trusting in divine timing and divine energy. Also, I want to say it means you trust that this these soulmates, this love that is being brought in by your spiritual team that you know, yes, I understand like having this conversation of like, okay, these are some of the things I've been through. And this is why my heart is a little fearful. I just don't want to go through that again. I feel like that's the first thing this king's going to say to you. I bring nothing but love, stability. It's coming over that Two of Swords. So another five. But again, what you're heading towards is people, your soulmate tribe, compassion, empathy. That's what the Five of Pentacles teaches us is compassion and empathy because of what we've been through. But it's really once we've overcome it, helping to help another. Okay, well, that's a lot. But we are definitely going to take the Sun, hello, over the Knight of Cups. Like, I come in the light. I come in the light. Interesting that the Sun is mirroring the devil, which again can be, I hate this for Capricorn, but it does mean temptations. But again, some of these are illusions, you know, and I feel like the main illusion here is that I'm trapped within a certain situation. And I feel like I have to free myself. That's what Temperance is also saying, right? I can't uncreate this for you. My dear, you created it yourself. But you can trust in me and bring those walls down. Even going from the 8 to the 2, those walls are coming down. And I feel like instead of like automatically saying no, I'm going to have a discussion first. Even in the line with the Knight of Swords, I just realized. But it feels positive. But yet, I am just letting someone know. The Sun really is telling you of nothing to fear. This Ace of Pentacles is telling you it's coming in. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. In Eight of Swords, there's one image, I forget what tarot deck it's in, where this woman is completely naked and she is like hugging the world with her back to us. Almost like she doesn't want us to see her as she is. There's something that she doesn't want others to see. And maybe that's something what she needed to spend some time in, like, why did I stop believing in me? Do I think that I'm not worthy? Someone put those ideas in my head. And if that's the case, look at the source. Okay, we have a lot here. So I feel like I'm just going to take it right over the spread. The Queen of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles. First of all, nine. I feel like this is the first nine we've seen. Um, I feel I kind of love this because, especially with the Emperor right there, I feel like some of you, maybe you don't have like all these barriers around you, but I do feel like you've been spending some time like building up your pentacles. I definitely love this for business ownership. The Nine of Pentacles, that's what it means, successful self-employment. I don't feel like that has to be self-employment. I feel like it's just your money, but I feel like also a love for what I do. This is hard work. But if I love what I do, then still hard work. It reminds me of me doing tarot. I love what I do, truly, but it is a lot of work, but I love it. We have the Eight of Wands. What I think about, I bring about. It's also fast moving energy. And, I want to also say, especially with the Queen and King of Pentacles out, again, other than that, forget the sign. Um, I could definitely see them sharing that type of energy. This is feeling independent. This is the energy of truly being able to take care of oneself. And maybe some of you, that's what you've been concentrating on. Maybe you are putting out like those intentions of, okay, maybe now I'm ready. We have the moon, card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer, Ten of Swords, repeat pattern, not a good one. Strength card, the overcoming of that. Interesting because if you look at the strength card, it's an 8. And the other 8 is the 8 of Swords. This is about looking within, finding balance within. And she's looking right at that Ten of Swords. It's almost like she realizes that she has been in a repeat pattern with someone, that she has been taking dagger after dagger. But now she wants to know why. Why am I saying this is okay? Also, card of Leo, by the way. Well, hello, soulmates. So here they are. Here they are. Coming right into the Eight of Wands. What I think about, I bring about. That's what your spiritual team is trying to tell you. Six of Cups. Some of you could certainly be someone you already know. Maybe that's why this king might be connected. I know it's not for everyone, but it could be why I feel like this king is connected to social media. But this would be someone who hasn't caused me problems. If I know this person, when I think of this person, they definitely bring a smile to my face. I kind of feel this energy with the king. I can't help it. It's almost like you change that status to single. And I'm not feeling like they rush in, but I do feel that they do sweep you off your feet. I get the feeling that the king is being patient. And that's why I feel like I'm not going to rush in. Maybe I'll slowly step in. Maybe they know that's the best course of action. Again, connected so closely to temperance, divine timing, the right time, and then judgment again. Judgment's like, did I not tell you that I was guiding this for you? Well, hello, Two of Cups. Knight of Cups, we now know is a soulmate. With the sun coming over that, we know it's someone of the light. And what I mean by that is it's not someone coming in who wants to cause problems in your life. It's not someone who comes in who's like, yeah, I want to go out with you, but I also want to hang at the bar every night. I feel like you're so far beyond that. This is playful energy. It really is unencumbered energy. And by the way, shadows cannot hide when the sun is out. So it really helps eliminate fear. I kind of love it with the Six of Cups so close. By the way, this is Leo's ruler. And we have another Leo right here. So we have double Leo. Well, we got a lot of doubles. So I guess what I was meant to do was a love reading, but maybe I wasn't meant to make it just a twin flame. Even though I am still going to do twin flame, I feel like my guides wanted me to do this first because love is love. This feels very high vibrational. This feels really meant to be. But there does feel like there are certain issues that you need to think about if it's what you want in your life. I can't talk someone out of like breaking up with someone who just keeps treating them like shit. I wish I could. I wish I had that power. I would do it for all of you. But in the Age of Swords, we have to do it ourselves. But don't think that you're stuck. It reminds me of situations I've been in where I felt like I was stuck. I was waiting for someone to come in and save my life, so to speak. And ultimately, I realized that the only person who was going to save my life was me. And therefore, I did. And I've used that energy a few times in my life. Yes, would I love a hero to come in and just save me? Yes. But that doesn't mean it happens. And by the way, how proud are you when you are your own hero? Okay. Um, let's bring in the love clarifying or the clarifying love situations. And let's just take a couple. See why. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Somehow I picked up judgment. Where did I pick up judgment? Oh, right here. Because we have judgment twice. That's also a great sign to people being guided to each other. It feels like divine timing. But listen, the one thing I want to say, because some people will be like, all you talk about is love. But really, what I talk about is the lessons to get us to this point. I've had a lot of people come on lately um, who are like, 10-minute readings. And I'm not cutting any other readers down when I say this, but I feel like, yes, I could come on and I could tell you what you want to hear, or I could take the time and show you how to get to what you truly want. Um, that takes time. I could cut some of the fat out, but honestly, I'm following my guidance, and that's just the way it is. All right, look at this magic within, and we have the magician right here. Create space for personal growth and self discovery. Eight of Swords, I'm not really doing that. Create space for personal growth and self discovery. Magic within. Funny how I just said about one being one's own hero. Dawn of recovery. With each new beginning, embrace risk as a gateway to healing and renewal. Wow, I feel like we needed that. With each new beginning, embrace risk as a gateway to healing and renewal. And then veiled pass. Place the mystery of uncharted passages with the courage to explore the unknown, the unknowns. Face the mystery of uncharted passages with the courage to explore the unknowns. That sounds exciting. That's what it feels like. And like all of a sudden I'm thinking of like, like an explorer, finding new lands, new opportunities, new growth, new love. All right, let's bring in the romance angels, even though we don't even really need them. I feel like our guides are being very, very clear, but I'm going to bring them in anyway. Let's give them a card. For anyone who's new, the reason why I cut all the decks is I want to just introduce them into the reading as it is right now. So, continuing. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. It feels beautiful. I just got goosebumps. By the way, forgiving. I know a lot of people who say, I'm not willing. Listen, I dealt with someone who I lived with for 5 years who I remember one day, I mean, he used to beat the hell out of me. And I do mean, like, I don't even know how I'm alive. And I think if I would have stayed, and that is one of the situations where I had to be my own hero and leave. I didn't have any money because every job I had, he would somehow find a way to get me fired. Like narcissistic. I remember I picked up the phone, called my mom one time, and I said, can I come home? And she said, no, you made your bed, now lie in it. And that made me feel stuck for like another year. And then one day, I remember that we were in a car. My kids were young. They were in the back seat. And he goes out to this wooded area and then drags me out of the car with my children in the back seat, throws me down the field and starts beating the hell out of me. I remember I looked at him and his eyes were black. And I said to him, just kill me. Just kill me already. Well, it was after that situation that I literally took my kids. I didn't even have a car. Jumped on a bus. Showed up at my mom's front door. And although I expected to be turned away, it's like her arms were wide open. It was just crazy. And that was the end of that situation. And I did forgive him. I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't call him. I just was not willing to allow that to affect what the rest of my life was going to look like. I've forgiven everyone in my life. But that is part of growing spiritually. Again, it doesn't mean that you need to like literally pick up a phone. It's also talking about learning though, right? Learning from these experiences. So as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. So everything is trying to pull you into present moment energy. Getting to know you. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. I feel like that's talking about the queen and the king, the emperor and the empress. I do feel like the queen is going to say, or the king, this is what I've been through. This is definitely what I do not want to repeat. And I feel very quickly, you're going to know. Codependency. There's our Eight of Swords and that lack of communication. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Now, it doesn't have to mean like, you're addicted to alcohol. Someone could be. Someone could be. It could even be someone that you were connected to. I feel like more what this is saying is, it is that feeling of sometimes thinking like this is my person. But I'm promising you that your true soulmate would not do what I feel, because especially with the hangman, like stopping that communication, mirrored by that devil, that temptation, those illusions. I've got to break myself free, reclaim my power, and then just be amazed at what my spiritual team has been saying. And I feel like divine or temperance is saying, well, now that is divine timing. That is divine timing. Amen. And I'm going to leave it there, guys. There's a lot of cards. It's funny. I completely let this be whatever it wanted to be. I understand, because I feel like this is really for some of you, your spiritual team saying this is the final push. You do need to reclaim your power. You do need to know what it is you want, but you also need to be in the energy of that you want. And we can help you. Put your trust in us. And then you do. And then what feels like magic happens. Just like when Sam reached out. Had no clue. We hadn't talked in 40 years. And then one day out of the blue, unexpectedly, my phone rings. And now we live together. So I believe all is possible. I've seen it in my own life. I've gone through the very, very, very difficult, but I've also had many, many, many blessings. And I do feel like Sam and I were guided together. So, sorry, I'm using my experiences, but I say them because I just want you to understand that I've been there. I get this energy. And I feel like that's partly why my guides called me to be a reader, because I do have many, many experiences that I had to find a way to overcome. Forgiving, I'm telling you, it just means I'm not going to carry this energy forward. All right, guys. I said amen. I should have left it at amen. Amen, amen, amen. There's a song I'm trying to think of. I love you guys so much. I really do. This is why I do these readings. I certainly don't. I mean, yes, I have to make a living. But it's not my reason for doing it. The reason, number one, is I felt called. I felt called to it. I felt, my interest was piqued and I followed it. I followed the whole way to today. So I hope you can find yourself in here. And I hope you see the truth of the real blessings that were meant for you. Blessings to me are well earned. It's not magic. It's because of action steps you've taken. It's because of the things you have overcome. Sometimes it is because you were willing to forgive. And again, it doesn't mean forgive and then let someone back. That is your choice. That may be about letting someone new in. But whenever you're ready. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I thank you so much. I thank you for just allowing me to do these readings. Um, Again, I had no clue what the reading was going to be about, but holy love, but also spiritual evolution, right? Evolving, closing doors, allowing these rebirths, trusting in your spiritual team, your intuition. It is your guiding light. Don't look for a hero. You are your hero. And then just watch what comes in. It's all coming in divine timing. In a way, that's a sense of comfort. But I do feel like divine is like, but my dear, I also need you to do your part. And then that feels like the right time. Thank you guys. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.